Hello and welcome to the Unwritten Life. I'm gonna be knitting today, so unfortunately no puzzle, but I do like my knitting and I'm working on a hat. It's gonna be so cute. I will not be talking about knitting today though. And the reason for no puzzle is time. My parents are only out of the house for a very short time right now, so here we are. But I wanted to do something while I talk to you so I don't have to stare you down because that feels uncomfortable for me. I don't know. Would that be uncomfortable for you? I repeat, I don't know. Either way, this is how I'm choosing to do it. So I'm hoping you're okay with it. I wanted to talk to you because I went looking at a house. It was quite a long drive, for me, it was a somewhat long drive. I mean, drives can be, depending on where you live, because that is very, very different, I guess you could say. I mean, if you talk to some of my friends around where I live, to some of them, half an hour drive is a long drive. But then when you talk to people kind of more like from the north of Norway, half an hour drive is of course. 2 hours is that's short. Whereas here where I live, a 2-hour drive is considered a very long drive. I mean, as I said, even a half hour drive seems like a long drive to some people. I'm a little in between. I don't know exactly why, but I just am. But at the same time, a 2-hour drive can go by real quickly and a half an hour drive can take a long time. So, maybe my perception of time is not, I don't know, maybe it's a little skewed at times. Probably is. But I went looking at a house. I was, as always when I go look at a house, I'm very hopeful. And it doesn't always pan out, so I get really, really disappointed. And then I turn quite crappy for a few days. Really, not pleasant because I'm so disappointed. Anyway, this house, it was... God, how long was the drive? It was about a 2-hour drive from my parents because yes, I still live with my parents, so I'm out house hunting now. Finally, there are houses on the market that are potentially suitable for me. So I went looking at this house. It had a pretty decent sized property, about, right, I have to do some math. 9 acres approximately. You had a house, you had a little extra house, more like a small cabin. You had a barn, and there were a tiny bit of wood section there and a couple of grassy pasture places where you could have either animals or grow corn or beans or food in general, vegetables. So I went looking. I did a 2-hour drive there and back, obviously. And yeah, it was a really old house. And I mean, generally not a problem. The house did have some problems though. It was old, and I like some of the old houses. So that in itself was not a problem. There were certain rooms that wasn't quite how I wanted it. One of the rooms on the second floor, I walked down to the window and then I could walk back up again to the hallway. So it wasn't exactly level. It wasn't just a tiny little bit that you didn't feel. I could feel that I was walking down towards the wall and the window. And then I had to walk back up again. It was very, very noticeable in that one specific room. So that would need some work. The barn was old, not kept well, and usually the walls are like straight, but it was like curved. So it was like, instead of being straight, it was curved. I'm not saying that it needed to be done immediately, but that barn, yeah. I did not walk into all the rooms to inspect them or to look at them because it didn't feel safe. It did not feel safe. And the house, yeah, sure, you'd have to exchange all the or switch out all the windows because they were not in good condition. But you know, you can live with crappy windows for a while. Sure, there will be a draft, but you know, put some paper newspapers around it or whatever to like make the draft a little bit less. I could work with that. What I wasn't that willing to work with, however, was the fact that it had bug damage, the house. I don't remember exactly what kind of bug damage, but they had clearly painted one of the floors on the first floor, and the bugs had eaten some of it. You know, some of the floor, some of the paint, and it was very, very, like, by the wall, you could see the fine dust. I don't think it was termites or anything like that, but it was definitely bug damage, and you could see the fine dust had fallen down just when where the wall and the floor meets, just in there, you could see like the fine dust from woodwork or bug damage on woodwork or on wood. So that would be an issue. The little cabin-ish thing was rented out. So you had kind of an income there, which would be cool. But you couldn't really get a good look at it because it was so full of stuff from the tenant. So, yeah. And the kitchen, well, I'm not sure if I would have wanted to use the kitchen in the house anytime soon until it had been, you know, redone. And the little bit of woods that was there, it wasn't, if you were lucky, there would be enough trees for one person to chop down enough to have firewood. That was it. The fields or the grass, where it could have either pasture or grow food, they were decent sized. They were big. Would have been able to grow a lot of food there. Probably. The soil needed a lot of work. It did not have the best. It was waterlogged, so that's not the best. I mean, a lot of vegetables do not like growing, or they simply can't grow because they can't breathe in waterlogged soil because it is, well, there's no air in it. Plants need air to their roots. So the fields would have needed a lot of work too. Are you starting to see where this is going? I mean, and the price, the asking price, it was surprisingly high. And I asked a realtor about that. Is that how you say it? Real estate agent? The agent thingy that is selling the house for whoever is selling it. And it had been put out on the market a couple of years ago for a higher price. And they then had gotten a bid on, let's see, it was originally put on the market 2 years ago. It did not sell then. The asking price then was, I think, like 4.2 million Norwegian kroners. It didn't sell, but they had gotten a bid on 3.5, which they declined and took it off the market, and now they're trying to sell it again. And now their asking price is 3.5 Norwegian 3.5 million Norwegian kroners. God, that was hard. So they were hoping for that, because I mean 2 years ago they did get an offer on that price. This time, nope. And he said like, oh, the location is so good, and I was like, the location wasn't bad, but it could have been better. And for that price, no. It was a lot of people going to look at it though. I don't think a lot of offers came in. Unfortunately for the seller, didn't really matter to me. But yeah, it was a nice drive. And the view, I mean, I'm starting to occasionally get why people are obsessed with the view from a house. Because the view was amazing. I wish I had pictures to show you, but I mean, I didn't buy the property, so I don't have any pictures from there because I don't own it. Probably should have taken a picture of the view, because the view was amazing. It was great. And the air was crisp and clear, and just the area looked amazing. Didn't get to be my house though, because that asking price? No. When you have that much stuff you have to do, and yeah, there was so much, like water was a little bit meh, the septic or the plumbing was a little bit meh. You'd have to redo the bathroom because that needed a lot of work, and the room where the toilet was, it was under the stairs and it was cramped, and the toilet was partially leaky, and just like, yeah, no. So you basically, and also when you have bug damage in a house and it's active bug damage, so they kind of continue to gnaw on everything and make dust, and yeah, they're active. God knows what else, you know? If you can see the bug damage and you know that there is bug damage and there is like ongoing, not good. Not good. So that was, yeah, I didn't bid on that house. I mean, if it had been given to me for free, I would have, but ain't no one gonna give me a house for free. So no. I don't know if it sold or for how much. It doesn't really matter. It was not the house for me. So yeah, that was my first house hunting this season. Actually, it wasn't. It was kind of my second. There's a lot of people there though. But yeah, not the house for me. But it had a lot of features that I liked. I would have liked a little bit more woods. I mean, for my forever home as a farm, I would like that. But at the same time, I don't know if I'll be able to buy a farm anytime soon. As in, I don't think I'll be able to. The house I hope to buy will probably not be my forever home. It probably won't be a farm. If I'm lucky, I'll get a quarter of an acre. So yeah, but at the same time, I mean, there's stuff I need to learn. I need to learn so much before I should take on the big task of a farm. So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that I'm not buying like huge property. Maybe I need to start smaller. I probably should start smaller. Let's be honest. I should totally start smaller and then kind of build up. That's the smart thing to do. But just because it's smart doesn't mean that I always want it. Sometimes I just want it. I mean, oh, I'm trying to mark like how many rows I'm doing, so I have to pay attention to that too while I'm knitting here. So if I'm looking down, it's just my hand in a notebook, as always. But yeah, that was... Should I make this a short video? I think I'm gonna do that. Have one house in each video. Or, not one house, but yeah, it was a lovely drive though. And it was beautiful weather that day. Okay, not fully. It was a little bit of rain, but it was fine. It was warm enough that I didn't mind. So, but it was... The view was gorgeous. The fields, although waterlogged, I could have been able to work with that. I mean, I am learning a lot at school. I'm studying organic farming part-time online. So I am learning a lot there. So I would be able to figure that out. The barn, you'd need to, yeah, do a lot of work on the barn. And the house, ugh. Yeah, the garage, it had a garage where you could put cars, 2 cars, fitted 2 cars, and that was the best building on the property. Yep. That was, yeah. And the house, yeah. Old house, kind of pretty, but boy would it need a lot of work. And yeah. So no. House 1 in the house hunting series, that's a bust. Absolute bust. Not for me. So I just wanted to share that while I'm knitting. And I think I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I will tell you about my next house hunt in the next video. Alright. I hope you have enjoyed this. Bye!